वसुदेवसुतं देवं
वसुदेवसुतं देवं
कंसचाणूरमर्दनं
कंसचाणूरमर्दनं
देवकी परमानन्दं
देवकी परमानन्दं
कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं
कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं
नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे
नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे
कुलारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र
पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र
येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णा
येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णा
प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः
प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः.
Namo Namaha. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening from wherever you are joining for the Bhagavad Gita class. Bhagavad Gita is regarded even higher than Vedas. Mahabharata in fact also is regarded higher than Vedas. Mahabharata is called as Panchama Veda, the fifth Veda. The all other Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and Atharva Veda, they are called as Apaurishaya. Not composed by anyone, it is always existing, only compiled, codified. And Veda Vyasa, he grouped them. It is earlier there was only one Veda, and for the ease of students, he classified into various sections. Rig Veda, Yajurveda. Rig Veda mainly runs in a meter. Yajurveda like a prose, runs in like a text. And Samaveda, when the Rig Veda is chanted with nada, it's mainly for music. With nada, it becomes Samaveda. Atharva Veda, Samaveda is mainly, it's having Rig Veda mantras with nada included. Atharva Veda is mantras from Rig Veda and Yajurveda are taken in Atharva Veda. The four Vedas and the Panchama Veda, fifth Veda, is composed by the Lord in Himself in the form of Veda Vyasa. And it is talking about the main theme, underlining message of Mahabharata is bringing out the greatness of the Lord in another form, Lord Shri Krishna. In Mahabharata, Lord in three forms are appearing. One is Parashurama, is taking an active role. The Lord in the form of Parashurama, Lord in the form of Lord Shri Krishna, Lord in the form of Veda Vyasa. Veda Vyasa, Parashurama played a very important role in the Mahabharata. He trained people on the Kaurava side, gave them energy to fight. Like he trained Dronacharya, he trained Bhishmacharya, he trained Karna. He trained them. Why? Because the negative forces got to be grouped together so that the destruction of them should happen. He trained them so that the negative forces got to be grouped together. With their help, he could have, the annihilation of negative forces could happen. Last week I touched upon Dronacharya. He refused to train Karna because he was not from the princely class and he was brought up by a charioteer. Since he did not have a background of a princely class, Dronacharya taught him only the basics, but the finer intricacies of warfare he did not teach. Karna went to Parashurama. He knew that Parashurama will only train the Brahmanas because he waged the war. He went around the globe 21 times to annihilate Kshatriya kings. They were so arrogant of their power. They were drunken with power and they started abusing the power. and to annihilate them, Parashurama went around the globe 21 times to destroy arrogant kings. The kingship you get to discharge your duty, not to abuse. And in the Parashurama, Karna remembered that one. So he told him that he was not a Kshatriya and he was a Brahmana. And later on, last week I touched upon Parashurama came to know, and he told him that at the crucial moment, may you forget the mantras I taught. And at the same time, he bestowed him his own chariot, saying that as long as you are mounted on this one, nobody could defeat. And Karna also completed his education. He came back, and there was a show and tell session was happening. So show and tell session, the great stadium was built in Kurukshetra. Big stadium like missile test. It's a huge stadium. All students, Dronacharya wanted his students to display what they have learnt. So one by one they started displaying. And it was the turn of all the public were there. They were cheering. They were seeing the marvelous feat of the students. Arjuna came. They made an artificial fly. They created artificial fly. At that time, the technology, like we see the artificial birds flying, artificial fly, they set it out, and Dronacharya said, hit on its leg. And Arjuna discharged the arrow and chopped off that leg. And next one, another the fly, and he said targeted the eye. He could able to hit the eye. Then everyone was so thrilled about the accuracy and efficiency of Arjuna. Then Karna came. Karna, for the first time, he entered the arena. And Karna, same test. Fly was there, but Karna could do it faster than Arjuna. Though Karna also did the same, but it was faster than Arjuna, and so Duryodhana was so thrilled. I found a match for Arjuna. I never imagined there could be anyone who could do as good as Arjuna. This Karna is slightly better than, he could able to do it faster, and immediately he went. And Arjuna, this Duryodhana went and hugged him, and there were some protests. Karna was not a king, and he should not have been in competition. That immediately Duryodhana said, so he wanted to pocket him. Immediately he said, you have been crowned as a king of the Anga territory. Now that half of the kingdom belongs to you. He gave it away. He wrote the kingdom to Karna. Now you are a king. You are legitimately, you are in a competition. And Duryodhana, he got that Angarajya. It was won by Bhima against Jarasandha. Bhima went. Jarasandha was scared of Bhima. Without a fight, he said, take half of my kingdom, take this kingdom. And that one won by Bhima, Duryodhana, with the magnanimous heart, he gave, because it never belonged to him. He gave it to Karna. And then Duryodhana was thinking, now I found a match for Arjuna. And Nakula and Sahadeva there, and Yudhishthira, they are no match, we can handle them. Only the Bhima, somehow we have to manage him. We will tackle them. And it's the show and tell, and Duryodhana was so jubilant. Karna was an incarnation of sun. In the previous incarnation at the Ramayana time, he was a Vali. Vali was regretting what he had done, and with the greatest devotion he had great devotion to Lord Rama. He was a Sugriva. In the previous incarnation, he was Sugriva. Sugriva in the previous one, he was so arrogant, he was thinking Lord Rama won because of me, because of the arrogance. Sugriva was a son's incarnation, and this time he became the Karna. Whereas Vali was full of remorse. He was Indra Avatara, and he was born as Arjuna, this life. And in the Ramayana time, Lakshmana was, he served Lord Rama so much in the time of exile, 14 years exile, and so much of service he did. And he had accumulated more punya than one can handle. There is a capacity, everyone has a capacity. If you overcharge, it has to get dissipated. Every soul has a capacity. You can't overdo. When you overdo something, you burn off. For a bulb, 40 watt bulb, if you supply, the power supply is supposed to be 230 volts, if you supply 440 volts, it will burn off. Every soul has a capacity. You have to do, you can't do overdo. If you overdo, you dissipate. Somehow it gets dissipated. For example, in Gautama, he had overdone his sadhana, so Indra wanted to discharge his extra tapas, what he had done, in the form of Indra came, so that Gautama cursed him, so that he dissipated extra tapas accumulated. Everyone can handle only that much. You can't overdo your sadhana. It's a message. And also Lakshmana overdid his sadhana, and also he thought, I've been tired of following Lord Rama. I have been younger brother. Next time when the Lord comes, he thought to himself, I don't want to be younger brother. I don't want to be going after like Lord Rama. I went behind. I want to be born as an elder brother. He was born as an elder, and Sri Krishna was younger. Because of the dissipation, and many times to dissipate, Balarama picked up quarrel with Sri Krishna many times. I will talk about instances, and disagreed with the Lord Krishna. It's a way of purging out your extra punya. Extra punya, it gets purged out. Only we can handle so much of energy. For that, you have to sustain and do the sadhana. You have to build up your capacity. And every soul has its own ability. We have to, the sadhana says, you have to reach to your full potential. My full potential may be higher than yours. And a person in LKG can understand only that much, whereas person in PhD can understand more. The person in the PhD level has a higher capacity, can handle more, and LKG can handle only little. And the capacity is different. You have to always make sure that you are running to the full capacity. Whether you are a child or a youth or an old person, try to maximize your capacity, not to underestimate. And how do you know you are done so much of sadhana? Sometimes people ask, my anger is not in control. What is the reason? I am doing so much of sadhana, anger. It is because it is a way of purging out your extra. You have done extra, uncontrollable, you can't manage. And many times, many seekers, they come and tell me, I do the sadhana, when I get up, I get so much of irritated. I can't handle, I get so irritated. If my children talks, wife talks, I get so irritated. That means my capacity I have to build. After doing sadhana and getting irritated means my charging is not done properly or it is going down. We have to be mindful of this one. And this is how. And next one, and Bhima and Duryodhana, they came for with their mace, show and tell. They are about to charge at each other. At that time, the Ashwatthama came in between. Ashwatthama, he stopped both of them. Stop! It is not the venue for you both. You have a better venue, you have to wait. If you fight now, so Arjuna took hold of Bhima's hand and pulled him out. Ashwatthama took hold of Duryodhana's hand, pulled him. This is not the place. You have a different venue. And had they fought at that time, Mahabharata would not have happened. So, Bhima and Duryodhana's show and tell was stopped there. Then the Bhishmacharya was jubilant of his grandchildren's achievement, and Dronacharya was highly jubilant. And Dronacharya, after that, he asked for a Guru Dakshina. What is that Guru Dakshina? We will touch upon next week. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Jyayasi chet-karmanas
jyayasi chet-karmanas
mata buddhir janardana.
mata buddhir janardana.
Tatkim karmani ghore mam.
Tatkim karmani ghore mam.
Niyojayasi Keshava.
niyojayasi Keshava.
If an ordinary person is talking about this one, it is okay. For an ordinary person, why fight? I am confused. For ordinary people, it is fine. Arjuna of that caliber, the best of the student, according to Dronacharya, so sharp. He was good in hearing, remembering, shravana, contemplation, and the implementation. He had proved many times. But at this time, he was so confused. I don't want to fight. You say karma-yoga is better. You say the jnāna-yoga is better. I am confused. And Arjuna, person of the high caliber, when it is asked, then to clarify that one, only the Lord has to answer. If it is an ordinary people like us, our life is full of those questions. For us, we ask that question and nobody answers, we forget. When Arjuna asked, he asked in front of the Lord, I am confused. And at that time, that when he asked, when you are so capable, when you are asking, you will get a solution also. Vyamishreneva vakyena.
vyamishreneva vakyena.
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
buddhim mohayasiva me.
ekam vada nishchitya.
ekam vada nishchitya.
yena shreyo apnuyam.
yena shreyo apnuyam.
Shri bhagavān Uvacha.
bhagavān
lokesmin dvi-vidhā nishta.
lokesmin dvi-vidhā nishta.
pura prokta maya naga.
pura prokta maya naga.
jñāna-yogena sankhyānam.
jnāna-yogena sankhyānam.
karma-yogena yoginam.
karma-yogena yoginam.
na karmana manārambha.
karmana manārambha.
nishkarmyam purushoshnute.
nishkarmyam purushoshnute.
na ca sannyasana-deva.
na ca sannyasana-deva.
siddhim samadhi-gacchati.
siddhim samadhi-gacchati.
nahi kaschit kshanamapi.
nahi kaschit kshanamapi.
jatu tishthatyakarma-krit.
jatu tishthatyakarma-krit.
karyate hi avashak karma.
karyate hi avashak karma.
sarva prakriti-jair gunaihi.
sarva prakriti-jair gunaihi.
Not even a minute you can sit idle. You are propelled to work. Why I am propelled to work this way? What propels me to work this way? Shri Krishna says, you think you don't want to work. Something is propelling us. Something propels me to attend Bhagavad Gita class. Something propels me to go out. Something propels me to go for shopping. What is that propelling? What is that propelling? Shri Krishna says, you can't sit idle. Something or the other will propel you to act certain way. Karmendriyani sanyamya.
Karmendriyani sanyamya.
Ya aste manasa smaran.
Ya aste manasa smaran.
Indriyarthan vimodhatma.
Indriyarthan vimodhatma.
Mityacharasa uchyate.
Mityacharasa uchyate.
He or she is a hypocrite, thinking that not doing anything but mentally always contemplating, that person is a hypocrite. And Shri Krishna says in yoga there is one word called as arjavam. Arjavam means straightforwardness. Yama and niyama, ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha. Niyama, 5 niyamas: shaucha, santosha, tapa, swadhyaya, ishwara pranidhana. Tapa, santosha, tapa, swadhyaya, ishwara pranidhana. And one of this one, arjavam, ishwara pranidhana. Ishwara pranidhana in ahimsa, satya, asteya and brahmacharya, aparigraha. And that one, and that is included in that one. And Bhagavad Gita many times Shri Krishna says arjavam, straightforwardness in your dealing. Thinking something and doing something is not straightforwardness. You have to have a straightforwardness quality. In yoga shastras talk about Bhagavad Gita, many times Shri Krishna mentions that one. And yastvindriyani sanyamya.
Yastvindriyani samyamya.
Manasa niyamyarbate Arjuna.
Manasaniyam yarabate Arjuna.
Karmendriye karma-yoga.
Karmendriye karma-yoga.
Asakta sa vishishyate.
Asakta sa vishishyate.
Shri Krishna says asakta sa vishishyate. You do your action as if you are propelled to do. Yes, we will do, but not claiming that you did that one. You are helplessly doing things, and what is there to claim that I did this one? If success happens, why take the credit? Why failure happens, why take the blame? And you have to do without any hankering after the outcome. Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Karma-jyayo hi karmanaha.
Karma-jyayo hi karmanaha.
Sharira-yatrapi chate.
Sharira-yatrapi chate.
Na prasideda karmanaha.
Na prasideda akarmanaha.
Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Karma-jyayo hi akarmanaha. You have to do the niyat jyayo hi karmanaha. You, whatever karma, whatever has come to you, do that one. To maintain your body, you can't maintain your family, yourself through inaction. Yajnarthan karmano nyatra.
Yajnartha karmano nyatra.
Lokoyam karma bandhanaha.
Lokoyam karma bandhanaha.
Tadartam karma kaunteya.
Tadartam karma kaunteya.
Mukta sangha samachara.
Mukta sangha samachara.
Yajnarthan karmano nyatra.
Yajnartha karmano nyatra.
Lokoyam karma bandhanaha.
Lokoyam karma bandhanaha.
Tadartam karma kaunteya.
Tadartam karma kaunteya.
Mukta sangha samachara.
Mukta sangha samachara.
Sahayajna praja sruštva.
Sahayajna praja sruštva.
Uvacha prajapatihi.
Uvacha prajapatihi.
अनेन प्रसविष्वद्वा
अनेन प्रसविष्वद्वा
एष ओतिष्ठ कामदुक्
एष वोस्तिष्ठ कामदुक्
देवान् भावयतानेन
देवान् भावयतानेन
ते देवा भावयन्तु वः
ते देवा भावयन्तु वः
परस्परं भावयन्तः
परस्परं भावयन्तः
श्रेय परमवाप्स्यत
श्रेय परमवाप्स्यतात्
इष्टान् भोगान् हि वो देवा
इष्टान् भोगान् हि वो देवा
दास्यन्ते यज्ञभाविताः
दास्यन्ते यज्ञभाविताः
तैदर्थान प्रदायेभ्यो
तैदर्थान प्रदायेभ्यो
यो भुङ्क्ते स्तेन एव सः
यो भुङ्क्ते स्तेन एव सः
Karma-yoga means you have to live for others. You can't live for yourself. You can't live for yourself. You have to live for others. When you are not contributing back whatever you are, because of so much of blessing onto you, when you are not contributing, only taking, Shri Krishna says you are a thief. You are a thief. Whatever the Shri Krishna says, Devan bhavayata nena, when you offer, you get multifold return. Devan bhavayata nena, when I offer, divine beings bless me. And it is a cycle. I contribute, I get more. I contribute, I get more. And when I do not contribute, mukta sanga yo bhunkte sthena eva sa. One who is a thief indeed, who doesn't contribute, only takes. That person is indeed a thief. यज्ञशिष्टाशिनः सन्तो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जन्ते ते त्वगं पापा ये पचन्त्या आत्मकारणात् अन्नाद् भवन्ति भूतानि पर्जन्यादन्न सम्भवः यज्ञाद् भवति पर्जन्यो यज्ञकर्म समुद्भवः कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि ब्रह्म अक्षर समुद्भवम् तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्. The whole life should be like a yajna. Whole life should be like an offering. Shri Krishna says karma-yoga means your entire life is like a worship. Entire life is like a offering. When entire life is like a worship and like an offering, there is no question of me alone enjoying. Yajna means collective worship. Yajna means never it is a single worship. Yajna means it is a collective worship. My life, when I see my life, entire life is an yajna. It is not an individual yajna. Yajna becomes yajna. It's a collective worship becomes an yajna. I join myself with others so that my and our everyone's life becomes like a yajna. Shri Krishna says, you establish yourself like an yajna. Establish yourself. You nityam, always you establish yourself such a way that you are doing an offering. Yajna, then there is no question of arrogance. No question of saying that I did this one, I did this one. Entire life is dedicated for an offering, and Shri Krishna says, Nityam yajne pratishtitam evam pravartitam chakram nanu vartayati hayaha agayur indriya ramo मोघं पार्थ स जीवति
मोघं पार्थ स जीवति
एवं प्रवर्तितं चक्रं
एवं प्रवर्तितं चक्रं
नानुवर्तयति हयः
नानुवर्तयति हयः
अगायुरिन्द्रियरामो
अघायुरिन्द्रियारामो
मोघं पार्थ स जीवति
मोघं पार्थ स जीवति
यस्त्वा आत्मरतिरेव
यस्त्वा आत्मरतिरेव
स्वाध्यात्मा तृप्तश्च मानवः
स्याध्यात्मा तृप्तश्च मानवः
आत्मन्यैव च सन्तुष्टः
आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टः
तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते
तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते
नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थो
नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थो
न कृतेनेह कश्चन
न कृतेनेह कश्चन
न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु
न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु
कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः
कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः
तस्माद् असक्त सततं
तस्मादसक्त सततं
कार्यं कर्म समाचर
कार्यं कर्म समाचार
असक्तो ह्याचरं कर्म
असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म
परमाप्नोति पुरुषः
परमाप्नोति पुरुषः
कर्मण्यैव हि संसिद्धि
कर्मण्यैव हि संसिद्धि
आस्थिता जनकादयः
आस्थिता जनकादयः
लोकसङ्ग्रहमेवापि
लोकसङ्ग्रहमेवापि
सम्पश्यन् कर्तु अर्हसि
सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि
यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठ
यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठा
तत्तद्देवे इतरो जनः
तत्तदेवेतरो जनः
स यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते
स यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते
लोकस्तदनुवर्तते
लोकस्तदनुवर्तते
Sri Krishna says yadyadacharati, whatever the great people do, others imitate, so it goes in the line. Mind always looks for inspiration. If I do not have a role model, good role model, I pick up a role model, wrong role model. Maybe a film star or a rock star or whatever, and my role model is a person is very rich. Wrong role model. Richness is not the fault, but the character is more important. How that person has got his money, what are the characters of that person. We are not paying attention onto the characters. We are only concerned about who is rich and who is popular. Sri Krishna says we need to have a right role model. Even the young children also, when they are going to the school and all, they get easily sidetracked. Whatever the social media says, they get enchanted towards that one. Parents have a role model. It's a very important role to play. The parents have to introduce a child to a right role model. If parents do not show the right role model, children may pick up a wrong one and their life may be ruined. Therefore, parents in the earlier time, when the child is very small, parents is to tell the stories of great achievers. As a small baby, a seed has been sowed as a small child with various great achievers. And now in the child, we don't talk about that when parents themselves do not know. Small babies, we gave a phone for them to play. A small child also will be scrolling that one. There is no role model. In the whatever games is there, that is the role model. All small games children will be playing, all violent games and those ones. So that is the role model for the child. It is not the fault of the child, it is the fault of the parents. Parenthood is not easy. Parenthood, it's a lot of responsibility. Parents, they themselves have to learn and inculcate right from the childhood, and so that as the child grows up with vision, As a small, the Vivekananda as a baby, his mother used to tell him lot of stories of the great achievers. Shivaji's story also. His mother Jijabai used to talk about great achievers, Lord Rama and Krishna, and great achievers she used to talk about. When it is said, spoken that way, small child, it says, I also want to become like that. And that seed should be sown by the teacher, by the parents first. Parents, that is why they are the first gurus of the child. The parents, it's a responsibility. Then, after that, for a formal education, you can send it to the teacher. If the parents do not themselves have no values, and the teacher 1 hour class a week, it will have hardly any impact on the child. So it has to be inculcated from the home. Parents got to be a role model to shape your children. And Sri Krishna says that one, Name partasti kartavyam Trishu lokeshu kinchana Nana vapta avaptavyam Varta eva cha karmani Yadi heyam na varteyam Jatu karmanyatandritaha Mama vartmanu vartante Manushya partha sarvashaha. The Lord says when he gets incarnated and people are looking up to him, if he himself leads a very careless life, it is destroying the society. Same applies to the parents also. Parents, if they do not lead a life with utmost care, they are the cause for the ruining the family values. My children, last week, few weeks back I mentioned, I always look for a new phone, newer version. Current phone, if I have a iPhone 12, I am not happy with iPhone 12, I want to buy iPhone 13. I want to always upgrade. I want to upgrade to the latest model. Now, when my child is born, child is a newer version of myself. The child should be better than me. It should not be a older version. When I am looking for a newer version of the phone, what about your child? Is your child is better than you or worse than you? I always look for a newer gadget, newer television, newer car, newer version. But when comes to my child, it's a older version. How come? Then we have to pay attention to that one. Utsideyo ime loka na kuryam karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasya upahanya imam praja. If I do not take care, pay attention to this one, utside, slowly the value decadence of the value system, right? It's happening right from the family. We are blaming that world has gone to dogs. Whole world has gone to dogs and everywhere there is no value. I blame the world, I blame the government. What about your own home? My home, it has started right from my home. And right from my home it has started. When it has happened right in my house, I have no right to talk about the society or the government. And the confused family, confused children, confused generation, it will happen if you do not pay the attention. Sakta karmanya vidvamso yata kurvanti bharata kurvad vidvam sata sakta chikirshu loka sangraham sakta karmanya vidvamso. The people are so attached to work. not people, most of the people, they do not know, they just work for themselves. How they are working, ignorant people, how they are working for themselves, Shri Krishna says the knowers should work such a way that they are working for others. Knowers should not imitate the ignorant people. If I see in my company everyone takes the bribe and I also want to take, Shri Krishna says not that one. Let everyone take. You try lead a honest life. You lead, everyone do that one, everyone drinks, I also drink. Not that one. When you know that one, let everyone smokes. I should not smoke. Let everyone smoke and I should not. And everyone kills animals and eats meat and adding extra carbon footprint, everyone does. But I should not. Since everyone, I am not everyone. I am unique. I never should say I am everyone. Whatever everyone does, I do. Everyone party, I am party. Not that one. You are special. You are unique. And not to dilute yourself to become everyone and get lost in your life. If you want to stand out in life, don't become everyone. Shri Krishna says, don't become everyone. Let everyone do whatever. You are a special. Then leaders are always special. They say Himalayas, we go to Himalayas, why we go? We are so enchanted to look at the mountain peak. You know why we are so inspired to look at the mountain peak? It is standing alone. It did not get diluted with other mountains and become like a plateau. It is standing out. The standing out, peak of the mountain is standing out. Among the mountains, we are so inspired. You also should stand out. Otherwise, if you are ordinary, small hillocks, nobody cares. You are a washout in your life. And prakriti-jair gune karmani sarvashah ahankara vimūdatma kartāhamiti manyate tattvavittu mahabaho gunakarma vibhagayoh gunaguneshu vartanta iti matva na sajjate prakate gunasammudha sajjante gunakarmasu tan krishna vidan mandhan krishna vinna vichalen. The second line, tan akrishna vido mandan. You should say akrishna. Ta akrishna vido mandan krishna vinna vichalaye. Instead of in the majority crowd, you can't change them. You stand out. And the majority people, slowly they will look up to you. You will be an inspirer for them. You don't ask everyone to don't drink and don't take drugs. They won't listen to you. When you stand out, slowly people learn from your success. You stand out not to argue with people who are taking drugs. You will be bashed if you start arguing. You have to lead the honest life. If your corrupt people are there, if you start arguing with them, they will throw you out. You don't become part of them. You be a honest person. Mai sarvani karmani sannyasyadhyatma-chetasa nirashir nirnamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. How can I fight? Everyone is corrupt. How can I be honest? Shri Krishna says, I will give you the energy. I will support you. You will have my backing. You will have my backing. I will support you. How? My sarvani karmani. Whatever you are doing, you offer it to me. Sannyasādyātma chetasa. Offer your mind also. Nira asha nirmamo bhutva. No nirmama. No, it is mine. No personal wish. And you fight the battle of your life. Do that one. I will give you the energy. Eme matamidam nityam.
Eme matamidam nityam.
Anutishtanti manavaha.
Anutishtanti manavaha.
Shraddhavanto anusūyanto.
Shraddhavanto anusūyanto.
Muchyante tepi karmabhihi.
Muchyante tepi karmabhihi.
Etvetabhya sūyanto.
Etvetadabhya sūyanto.
Nanu tishtanti me matam.
Nanu tishtanti me matam.
Sarvajnana vimūdatma.
Sarvajnana vimūdhatma.
Tan vidhi nashtana chetasa.
Tan vidhi nashtana chetasaha.
Sadrisham cheshtase swasya.
Sadrisham cheshtate swasya.
Prakriti jnāna-vānapi.
Prakriti jnāna-vānapi.
Prakritim yanti bhūtāni.
Prakritim yanti bhūtāni.
Nigraha kim karishyati.
Nigraha kim karishyati.
That we are propelled to act such a way, like if the iron files are there, if a highly powerful magnet is drawn towards that one, naturally that iron file stands out. But gold files, gold powders are there. If you put the put it in a magnetic field, no change happens in the gold. Only iron. It is a property. We are acting according to the nature, everyone's nature. If I am not connecting myself with the Purusha, last week I mentioned, and only connecting with the outer world, I am not so much of temptation outside. So much of temptation, we are propelled. I am pulled this side, every side I am pulled. My life is a wreck boat. Why? Because I did not connect myself inside, only outside. I will touch upon that one tomorrow. Wreck boat. And everyone acts according to own nature. And you can't control anyone. Everyone, a good person is always a good person. Bad person is always a bad person. A good person should not just blindly follow that one. Resort. When you are good, you are naturally good. And we had done up to here. Indriya, Sya, Arte, Raga, Dvesho, Vyavasthito, Tayorna, Vashamagachet, Tau, Hi, Asya, Paripantino, Indriyas, your senses, always created. When the Creator made the senses, they are tend to go out. You get so much of things are outside. Outside so many things, if you allow your senses to go out, they get attached, leading to raga and dvesha, too much of attachment. I want more. There is no contentment in life. Raga, and if somebody questions, I start hating. If I do not get that one, if my friend gets that one, I start hating that person. Raga, dvesha happens, attachment and hating happens because my senses have gone amok, only contacting with the sense objects. Vyavasthito, Sri Krishna says, therefore, you control your senses. Not the problem with the object is not the problem. Objects are there, but you control your senses. Senses, it's not the problems with the object. Objects are there and you control the senses. Don't say that from tomorrow onwards all shops should be closed because I will get tempted. Not that one. Let the shops be there. Let the shops be there, or Christmas, there should not be Christmas shopping. Everything, all shops should be shut. Let shop be there. I should roam around and should not get tempted by maybe 95% sale. It should not get affected. So can you manage? Can you manage? You have to, in the Christmas season, everyone, whether you want it or not, you buy. Maybe let us keep it. We have big garage, we'll keep it. Maybe sometime we may need it or can give it to somebody. So much of hoarding happens, you control the senses. Shri Krishna says, Tayorna vashamagachet, never paripanti, hasya paripantino, don't come into the sway of this one. Let the temptations be there and not to get, manage your senses. Eyes are there and the eyes should not get tempted. People, they make so much of sweets and blame the wife. Why did you make so much of sweet? I ate so much of sweets. It's not the problem with the sweet. Let there be abundance of sweet. You control your tongue. I can't control my tongue. I blame the maker of the sweet, or somebody gave the sweet. For Deepavali, everyone is bringing the sweet. I ate too much of sweet. And who asked you to eat? They gave. Yes, they gave. You can take it. Doesn't mean you have to eat it. Control your senses. Control your senses. Then Shri Krishna says, Shreyan, Swadharma, Swadharma, Vigunaha, Paradharma, Swa, Anushtitat, Swadharme, Nidhanam, Shreya, Paradharma, Bhayavaha, Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha, Paradharmat Swanishtitat, Swadharme Nidanam Shreya, Paradharmo Bhayavaha. Paradharmo, when you are not yourself, you are a good person, you want to become like other one, you try to imitate, you want to become like others, then you are not happy within. Your guilt feeling is there. I should not have done. I should not have done. Shri Krishna says, Shreyan Swadharmo, whatever I may not have abundance, you become yourself. Be yourself. Shreyan Swadharmo, no, Vigunaha, maybe some shortfalls are there. Be yourself rather than blindly following others. Better to die as you are in your own nature, because following others, blindly following others, what the popular demand is there, popularity talks about, when you do that one, filled with stress, anxiety. It's a message for all of us, how to lead the glorious life. To glorious life, I gave an example of a mountain peak. You have to stand out. If you try to become everyone, mountain peak we appreciate because of its unique nature. Shri Krishna says, you become unique, stand out. It is far better than become like a small hillocks here and there and get unnoticed and wiped out in your life. Shri Krishna talks about that one, that message. And Arjuna asked the question, and what you said is fantastic. The fantastic, I want to stand out. But I can't stand out. What is the reason? Atakena Arjuna Uvacha. Ata
atha
kena
kena
prayuktoyam
prayuktoyam
papam
papam
charati
charati
purushaha
purushaha
anichannapi
anichannapi
varshneya
varshneya
baladiva
bhaladiva
niyojita
niyojitaha
atakena prayuktoyam
atakena prayuktoyam
papam charati purushaha
papam charati purushaha
anichannapi varshneya
channapi varshneya
baladiva niyojita.
baladiva niyojitaha.
I don't want to do, but still I'm forced to do. I don't want to eat extra sweets, but somehow I'm doing that one. I'm not supposed to take the bribe, somehow automatically I do that one. I'm not supposed to eat meat, but in the company I get drunk and I don't know what I'm eating. Why uncontrollably? I know it is not good, but why I'm propelled to do that one? Propelled to do that one, Arjuna asked that question on all our behalf. I know I should not eat extra, too much I should not eat, but when I go to a party, somehow looking at so many dishes, how can I say no? They are serving with so much of love, how can I say no? I ask them, put more, how can I? Otherwise host will be upset. Why I am doing that one after the party? I think I ate too much. Next time I won't go to the party. Why I am forced to do? Arjuna asked the question on all our behalf. And last week I talked about in the Bhagavad Gita class and Apratim asked the question regarding when I talked about surrender to the God, he talked about Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. I said Lord Vishnu is not only the God of Hindus, he is a God of Buddhists, Jains, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs. Vishnu means Vishati, Pravishati, one who is there everywhere is called as God. Omnipresent is called as God. The Sanskrita is an etymology. God name is not confined to one name. There is just the name. The etymology, if you open up, it is the same message. One who is omnipresent. It's all forms. It's there. It's everywhere. Then Advika called me up and after the class said, "Sir, you said Lord is everywhere. When Lord is everywhere, he cannot have a form. Then how can I see the God? How can I want to see the God? How can I see the God?" It's a very valid question. I told her that Lord is omnipresent. Not only omnipresent, he is omnipotent also. Whatever form you wish to see, he appears in that one. Omnipresent. And other religions, they say God doesn't have a form. And some of the people also, they say God is nirguna, no form. It's not that one. He is omnipotent. When the devotee longs to see the God in that form, he appears in that one. Appears in that form. And Advika, that the children, I am very impressed with the children. And the real thing happened in Gujarat. Well-known cardiac surgeon, Dr. Mehta, cardiac. It is not easy to get appointment with him and long queue, and you have to go through various other doctors before you can consult him. Very popular, successful doctor, having a successful practice in Rajkot, Ahmedabad and the Baroda. It's a different places. Very successful doctor. And to him, one child came for the operation, a 7-year-old girl. 7-year-old girl, it's a severe heart condition. Dr. Mehta he saw all the reports and did all the diagnosis and told the parents the two options are there for this child. One is the child has to be operated very soon, and but the success rate is only 30%. Success rate is only 30%. In the 70% maybe child will be dead in the operating theatre. And second option is no correction required. The child maximum will live for 6 months because of the so much of clogging. What do you want to do? The parents said, operate sir, operate, and they gave a particular date, and the mother, they brought the child to the operation, and the doctor took the child to the operating theatre on the operating table. Doctor to cheer up the child said not to worry, everything will be good. Okay, then the child asked the question, doctor, I have a question. Yes, what is your question? When I came, the reception, everyone said I am having a open heart surgery. They are opening up my heart. And when they open my heart, my mother, every day she used to put me tilak, kumkum. Every day she used to put me kumkum on my forehead and tell me, God resides in your heart. You will be okay. He will look after you. God is there in your heart, and every day she will say, it's not to worry, and apply the kumkum. And when you open the heart, if you see the God, can you please tell me how the God looks like? At Dr. Mehta, and he said he did not know what to say, and he said okay. And then procedure started about 3-4 hours, and on the gloves of the Dr. Mehta so much of blood, but no blood is coming out of the heart. Blood is not coming out of the heart. Mehta, however much he tried, heart is not pumping. And he told his colleagues also, gone case is 30%. 30% I said this child has gone. Despite my efforts, the child has gone. Heart is not pumping after 3 hours. And he asked other colleagues also, other co-doctors, stitch up the parts and hand over the body to the parents and inform the parents. And at that time he remembered the child saying, if you see the God in my heart, tell me how the God looks like. And remembering that one, Dr. Mehta's eyes become teary and he could not see. His glasses became foggy. He told his nurses, remove my glasses, I can't see, my hands are full of blood, remove the glasses. And they took the glasses out. At that time, another doctor, he said, doctor, the blood is coming from the heart. Look at that one, heart started pumping again. Doctor could not believe. He asked the other nurses to put the glasses back, and he could not control his joy, and it's a thrill. It's an unimaginable thing. And he stitched up, the operation was successful, and he was so joyous. And after the child recovered, he went to the child and said, I am not a blind believer. I believe the facts. But what you asked me the question, how God looks like. I could not see how God looks like, but I felt the presence of God. I have seen the presence of God, though I could not see. You are so courageous. You made me to feel the God in your heart. And he thanked that child. That the question for Advikas, this one also, we may not see everywhere, but we can feel his presence everywhere. That itself, that indication, that you can feel, and not that he cannot be seen, you can see also, but you can feel his presence, see his presence. That is the message of Bhagavad Gita and Shastras also. Vasudeva Sutam Devam
Vasudeva Sutam Devam
Kamsa Chanūramardhanam
Kamsa Chanūramardhanam
Devaki Paramanandam
Devaki Paramanandam
Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.
Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.